Okay, so what I need y'all to do is on slide 32, we almost out of time, lunch is almost over. So on slide 32, I gave y'all a word bank. And on that word bank, it gives you theme and genre, it gives you structure and comparison, it gives you character and conflict, setting and mood. What I want you to do is choose something that you can use. So for example, I know that we're writing about the setting and the character, right? So I can choose the setting and I can say, what did he do? Now I'm gonna go back. I have to go back on the slide before or after. It says in the short story, Ray Bradbury uses a lot of descriptions to show how Mars is strange and dangerous. So he's talking about what he's doing in the short story. So think about the short story. If you have your book, that's awesome. Then you can go back to what he is doing in the short story. For me, when I was reading that text, the thing that pulled me in, the word I got it, characterization. He really uses characterization to show us the inner qualities or the inner characteristics of Mr. Bitterling. I get to know Mr. Bitterling through his emotions, through the way that he's responding to this story. And so I'm going to say that right here. I'm going to say in the short story, Bradbury uses characterization to describe or to show the frustration that Mr. Bitterling is in as he is on Mars. No, but you're free to look. I haven't seen your binder.
No, because the last place I had it since last week wasn't here.
I don't know. I'm going to say Bradbury effectively uses characterization to develop the emotional conflict Mr. Bitterling is experiencing on Mars as he longs, that's what I'm saying, for Earth. So in my first sentence, I am using, let me see if I can plug into the computer one more time. No. Say there's an error. It's not going to let me go in. You guys, y'all at lunchtime. Y'all don't have to ask me if y'all can come or go. And so now that I have written that first line, the next thing I'm going to do is just like the example. I'm going to say, for example. For example, comma. And I'm going to use the first line just like they did because I think that really helps. It says, for example, when Harry Bitterling first arrived, he feels like Martian air is trying to draw his soul from him. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use that first line that he said on that line. So when he first got there, he said, can we go back home? Can we just get back on the plane and go back home? I'm going to use that line. For example, in the exposition, they said they want y'all to use vocabulary words. In the exposition of the story, when the Bitterlings arrive on Mars, Mr. Bitterling says, now I'm going to use some evidence to support what I said. And that's that statement that he made. Can we go back? Can we get back on a plane and go back to Earth? That's not exact. I'm going to go back and fix it. Now I'm going to explain what that means. This line, so after I say example says, then I'm going to explain. So now I'm going to explain it. I'm going to say this line shows or means. Let me help y'all. I need my markers. So here's the framework that y'all can use. Here's the framework y'all can use. First line, line 1. Line 1, we identify the author's moves. So that's what he did. What did the author do? So what skill do you notice that's happening there? Are you going to talk about theme, or are you going to talk about, whatever? In the second line, line 2, you're going to give an example. Who are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Because I'm into it. I'm flowing. I'm just getting excited over here. Line 3, you're going to go to the text and you're going to pull out the evidence. You're going to cite the text. So what page? What line? Use a quote. Okay? And then line 4, you're going to then explain your line. So that's what happens in that second paragraph. The story also describes things like green roses. So again, it looks like we want to have line 5. We might want to give some more evidence and then explain that evidence as well. Example, evidence, example of your line. And then I'm just going to say explain. I'm not going to say more examples. And then explain it. So for example, if you say the author is really showing us the lesson that he wants us to learn, that's the theme. The author highlights theme. And then I say this is what he's doing. Then I go to the text and I find a line where he's doing that. And I cite that line. And then once I cite that line, then I explain what that line is saying. The story also describes things like blah, 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 blah. But since it is written, you have to picture it all in your head. And then that last line, we're going to show a contrast. How the version we chose is better. So this is the format for the next paragraph. Y'all want to take a picture of it because it's almost time for y'all to go. So this is paragraph 2. Paragraph 3 real fast. I'll write that out.
I can write all that.
Paragraph 3 starts off with the comparing or contrast. Compared to that, the radio play uses sound. So I might compare a contrast. I can use either one of those words. Because now I'm going into the radio play. The first paragraph is the short stories. So this is paragraph 2, short story. And the next one is radio, that's paragraph 3. And in paragraph 3, now I'm looking at what I wrote in paragraph 2. I'm comparing that with the radio version, and whatever I said over here, I can say the opposite. I can say the radio version was, y'all think the radio version was better? Yes. I can say the radio version is better. So here my job is to prove the radio version is better. So all the stuff that I addressed over here, I can just talk about how it was better in the radio version. And I can do the same thing with all the lines, the same segment of lines. Okay. Okay. Oh, did y'all make sure that y'all sign in? Where are my passes? I can use my passes as my sign-ins. I didn't get none of my passes back. My passes should have the names on the students that went to lunch. I should have a pink one too. You need to put your name on there. The date and the name need to go on there. Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, guys. So that's really wrapping up our lunchtime. Do y'all go at 40 or 35? 35. Okay, well, that's really wrapping up your lunchtime. Thanks, y'all, for coming. Was this helpful at all? I know it was a quick 15, 10 minutes, but did it help you at all know what to do with your paper?
Yeah, because I got confused on what to do due to everything, and this definitely helps.
Okay.
It explains the format, and I already got the first paragraph.
Yes, the first paragraph is already done. The second and the third paragraph, they are similar. You just start that first thing out, and then whatever I said up here, I can just say how the radio version did it better.
Okay, that's very good.
Now you are also, you're in my honors class, right?
Yes.
So yours is kind of different. Or it can be the same, but you can use better.
I actually found it in the
I can't take your money.
I actually found it in the auditorium this morning.
Blessings and peace to you.
I have a 20